Welcome back to the FAQ Shack. You know, it's funny. Sometimes it really feels like the universe has a personal vendetta against your commute. You hit one red light, and then suddenly it's like every single light on your route is conspiring against you. Well, today we're going to dig into that universal curse of the constant red light.
You know the feeling, right? You're cruising along, you're making great time, maybe your favorite song's on the radio, and then, bam, red light, and as you pull up to the next one, it turns red too. It's infuriating. So is it just cosmic bad luck, or is there actually some kind of logic behind the madness?
And hey, it turns out we're not the only ones wondering. We got this great question from Alex in Chicago, who asks, why can't we just synchronize traffic lights so I don't have to stop at every intersection on my way to work? That is a fantastic question, Alex, and the answer is actually really fascinating. Let's get into it.
So, to answer Alex's question, traffic engineers have been trying to do exactly that for the better part of a century. Seriously, the dream of a perfectly smooth, stop-free drive is kind of the holy grail of their profession. And their first big idea to solve this was, honestly, brilliant.
It's a concept called the green wave. Just imagine a whole series of lights, all timed just right, so that if you drive at a specific, steady speed, you just sail through a continuous stream of green. This creates what they call a platoon of cars, basically a group that can flow through intersection after intersection without ever hitting the brakes.
Yeah, that's a perfect way to put it. It's just like surfing. You catch the wave at the right moment, at the right speed, and you can ride it all the way in. A green wave is the exact same idea, just, for the concrete jungle of our city streets.
Okay, so riding the green wave. The idea sounds great, right? Super simple. But how do you actually make that work in the real world, with thousands of cars all going to different places? How do you get everyone to surf that wave? Well, it all comes down to some really clever math and a pretty cool way of looking at traffic.
Okay, now this is how they map it all out. It's called a time-space diagram. Just think of it like this. Along the bottom, that's the distance you're traveling from one intersection to the next. And as you go up the chart, that's time passing. See those green diagonal stripes? That is your green window. As long as you and your car stay inside that green band, you're golden. You will just cruise right on through.
And the benefits here, they are massive. It's not just about saving you a few minutes on your commute. When you have less stopping and starting, that means way less pollution and you save a ton on gas. It's less wear and tear on your car's brakes and engine, and it can even create safer, longer crossing times for pedestrians. It is a genuine win-win-win.
All right, the science of the signal. Because this whole thing isn't magic, right? For a green wave to work, the system has to be smart. It needs two basic things. It needs eyes to see that your car is actually there, and it needs a brain to decide when to change the lights.
So first up, the eyes. How in the world does a traffic light know you're even there, waiting patiently? Well, the most common way is actually buried right under your tires, in the pavement itself.
This right here, this is called an inductive loop system. You've probably seen those weird rectangular or circular cuts in the asphalt at an intersection, right? Well, that's this. It's basically a big coil of wire connected to a detector inside that traffic box on the corner. The box sends a current through the wire, creating a magnetic field.
And here's where it gets really, really cool. When your car, which is just a big hunk of metal, drives over that wire, it messes with the magnetic field. Now, a lot of people think it's the weight of your car, but nope. It's all about the metal undercarriage. You can see here how the low sports car causes a huge change, while the SUV with higher clearance causes a smaller one. That change is the signal that says, hey, a car is here.
Okay, so the system can see the cars. But that brings up a really good point, and it's one that Jamie from Toronto wrote in to ask about. That's cool, but what about the cars on the side streets? Do they just wait forever for the green wave to pass?
Great question, Jamie. And the answer is no, you don't wait forever. This is where the brain comes in, the traffic controller. It's a constant balancing act. It has rules like a minimum green time so at least a few cars can get through, and a maximum green time so one street doesn't hog the green light all day. But that offset, that is the secret sauce. It's the specific, calculated delay between one intersection's green light and the next that actually creates the wave. It's a really complex dance.
Now, this whole system of pre-programmed timers is pretty good, but it has a huge weakness. A simple set of rules can't predict a sudden traffic jam or an accident, or maybe a big concert letting out. To handle the beautiful chaos of the real world, you need a system that can do more than just follow a script. You need a system that can learn.
So on the one hand, you've got the old way we've been talking about, fixed timing. It's rigid, it follows a preset schedule. But on the other hand, you have the future, and that's reinforcement learning.
This is a type of AI that doesn't just follow rules. It watches live traffic and adapts its strategy on the fly to keep things moving.
So, how does this AI actually learn? Well, think of it like training a puppy. The AI agent is always observing the traffic, that's the environment. It takes an action, like changing the light from red to green. Then it gets a reward. If that action helped reduce the line of cars and made traffic flow better, it gets a positive reward, a little digital treat. This reinforces the good decision, so it gets smarter and smarter over time.
And you might be thinking, okay, that sounds cool, but does it actually work? Well, the results are kind of staggering. In a study, one city implemented an AI-powered system like this. The result? They cut the average time drivers spent just sitting and waiting at lights by over 57%.
And that's not all. It also shortened the length of those frustrating traffic queues by nearly 41%. Fewer cars stuck waiting, clogging up the intersection.
You put it all together, and what do you get? An almost 17% drop in total travel time. I mean, just think about what that means for your daily commute. That is real time given back to you every single day, just because the system got smarter.
So, to go back to Alex's original question, we have come an incredible way, from the very first simple timers trying to create a green wave, all the way to modern AI that literally learns and adapts to traffic in real time. The goal has always been the same, to get you where you need to go, a little bit smoother and a little bit safer.
It really gets you thinking, doesn't it? If we can use AI to untangle something as complicated as city traffic, what other everyday problems should we sick it on next? Figuring out the fastest line at the grocery store? Maybe finally solving the, I don't know, what do you want for dinner debate? The possibilities are pretty wild to think about.
And that is our deep dive for today. If you have a burning question that you think would be a great fit for the show, please drop it in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you for a future installment of the FAQ Shack. Thanks so much for watching.